call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock today, the 7th of November. Mark Sant.
Courtney Boudreau.
Welcome.
Mary Anastasia.
Salim Muldowney.
And Ben Norton.
Fantastic. We have a very short agenda. First thing on the agenda is the minutes from the last two meetings. Have people read them? I made the correction that was brought to my attention about the incorrect date. If we can have a couple of more, if people have read them and can accept them with the addition that I put in. Somebody can make a motion to accept them.
A motion to accept the minutes for the last two meetings.
And a second.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Correspondence. Anybody received any correspondence from? No correspondence to be mentioned. None. There you go. Bills and claims.
So there's two so far for warrant 2310, I believe. So just waiting for tomorrow, and then I'll submit that.
And that was from whom?
Mello and after I'm blank on the other name. Yes.
For the-
Detail.
Default. Yeah.
Question, Celine, do you remember if you or Mary received the contract? You should get something assigned from the person who takes care of the irrigation, basically saying it's a limited amount of $5,000 that you can spend. Do you get anything like that?
Definitely not.
That's Steve Filippo.
Yeah, did not see that.
I don't ever remember getting a contract from him.
Okay. All right.
He just bills us, I think.
And
He opens and closes.
Yeah,
He might have 1 year.
There was a document that came out that basically wasn't, he'd still bill us each time, but basically saying the extent of our contract is up to this amount. So it's not an open-ended, to my understanding. I didn't know if there was anything for this year. Could you look into it? Could you look into it? Please? Mary?
Yes.
I'll look into it.
we'll do it together.
I just want to make sure, because there's a question coming up later. That I'll bring up. And that's it. And again, with Mello, I will contact them later on this week or next week to suspend service at the end of November through the beginning of April.
Do they take it away?
No, they leave it there. DPW is supposed to be closing up and locking it so that people who do walk their dogs in the area have an area to dispose of the waste. There's a little cap there and it never gets filled up if they lock it. They don't seem to be locking it on a regular basis because you'd have to lock it on Wednesday afternoon, unlock it Tuesday night.
Oh,
So
so that
that's-
they can dump it.
Yeah. But it does get, from years past, not that I'm what's the word I'm looking for, an expert in this, but a lot of people do use it appropriately for disposal of their dog waste. So I think it's a good thing to keep it there. And that's what bills, and that goes into the next item from old business is a dumpster. They reported back last meeting or in the emails to me that DPW has other obligations for this fall, and it'll be something that they look forward to completing next spring when they have more time.
That's the pad.
Finding a best location, somewhere close to where it is now. So when we looked at it a while back, we didn't want it too far away from the fields that people wouldn't use it, nor too close to the field. That because it blocks the handicap access parking.
Right. So did you have them put it on their docket for the spring?
I believe Dave has, yes.
Okay, all right, great.
We were going to talk about pickleball, looking to see if we could collaborate with the Council on Aging and the Triton Schools and see if we can't use the Newberry gym one night a week, evening a week, to test out whether there's enough interest for us to, or somebody to acquire more equipment. We do have a net and some balls and some extra paddles that we could bring people in whenever the gym's available for an extended period of time, hour and a half. People could sign up because we wouldn't necessarily need to charge them. You could use the Mighty Rack without any additional expenses occurred on our part. And see
I
if we
think you
can-
just need to check with NES. Years ago, they used to have youth basketball practices there
Yeah.
in the evening. I don't know if that's still the case or if they're using Triton all the time.
Well, it's a matter of, do we want to pursue this with Council on Aging? And if so, we should vote on it to say, hey, let's do it and see if it's available. If it's not available, that becomes moot. If there is a possibility we could do Monday night, then we take the necessary steps to do the outreach to bring people in. I do know that over in Newburyport, they're packed, and at the local Y's, not so much Ipswich, but Beverly and Gloucester, it's mobbed.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, if we start off with the adults getting access, then maybe
Yeah.
move to a family model, so that it's not, tennis I found too hard with kids to begin with, and basketball's much easier, and then, try to figure out a strategy to bring more people. But I'd like to make a motion that we pursue looking into Newbury Elementary for access to their gym at an appropriate time, working with Council on Aging or any other town department to promote pickleball as a means of recreational family community. How's that?
Right.
The
gonna
the
write
minutes
that
won't-
down.
the minutes won't reflect that, will reflect something else. Do I have a second?
I second the motion. What do you say?
Any conversation,
No,
discussion?
that's good.
A vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And for the record, for those who are newer to the, when I write the minutes, I don't write down who, if anybody opposed, it's either it passed or it failed. That's it. Next on the agenda was the field policy. I haven't heard anything from the town administrator. Had gone to her to forward to the town council for review to make sure there's consistency within the document and its consistency and can be legally argued. Does that make sense? So no action to be taken on it. The spending plan, I'm drawing up some numbers. I need some help with a few numbers coming up, but back at the envelope analysis is we're only spending about 60% of the monies that are allocated to us, which allows us in the neighborhood of $15,000 to $18,000 for us to use for discretionary spending.
That's
Which
great.
could include specific stuff up at Central Street Fields. And again, for those who are newer to the committee, the funds that are appropriated to us at this time are restricted to the use of the care and maintenance of the field. We can't use these funds at this time for any projects for developing something at the upper green or the lower green. It's restricted actually to Kent Way and to Central Street.
Who restricts it?
It is the way the warrant is
Okay.
worded. It is a desire of some members of the committee, me, that we ask for a different line, an additional line item in our budget so that if we want to hire somebody to run a youth summer program, it would be able to come out of a different line item because this one would not allow for it. But that's a conversation for another day. So the spending, we have the regular maintenance. We do have a concern, and there's the small fee, annual fee for the MyRec, correct? That's $1,000?
Oh, I think it's a little more, might be 3,
3,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the
off the top of my head.
platform for people to sign up?
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put, if you don't mind, Mary's on it, I'm gonna put you on it as
Okay.
well. And then maybe we can teach you the backup billing,
Okay.
because I'm gonna bow out.
Mhm.
So right now I've taught Mary, but if she goes away, we need a backup person, and he's
Yeah.
secretary already,
Mhm.
so we'll teach you the billing. So
Okay.
It's like, it takes like,
It's not, it's
it's like
not bad.
3 minutes.
Cool.
Yeah. I try and do it once a month, though, the same
Yeah,
time
yeah.
a month. I collect all the bills for the month, so I'm not scammering around twice a month.
So then,
And that's what the cadence seems to be now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just put it in your head that you have to do it once a month.
Yeah.
So please remind me at the next, prior to the next meeting, we will need to vote on having Courtney having auxiliary,
Yep.
alternate signing privileges
Mhm.
to Mary, and that you'll be coming up at some point, or are you off? Are you?
After December, I'm off. I was only 6 months. I don't know if that's December or January.
No date was listed on the document we provided the town account. So we will, the new document, the updated one, will remove you, add Mary and Courtney.
Yep.
Okay.
And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate.
Dr. Swain. Any question? So the spending plan, we have to include that. There was some confusion as to who would be the individual entering the data into that document after the users, potential user, permit holders entered their information. I was under one impression, clarified by the town administrator, that we would have to hire somebody outside of who's already working here. The individual I thought we would be obtaining a partial FTE from is not available to do it.
FTD.
Full-time equivalent, so if they spent 4 hours a week, it might be a .10 FTE, and we would pay that part of their salary.
So we weren't expecting somebody from the town to do the budget.
This is
Not
the
the
support,
budget.
this is the support of MyRec.
To support MyRec, yes.
So,
The individual who's doing it now will not necessarily be doing it forever.
okay, can I interject?
Yeah.
This takes less time than the paperwork she used to,
I'm not arguing with you.
so it's the same, it's like less paperwork.
Let me do this. Let me clarify again exactly what's going on.
You could check with Lindsay, it literally took her,
I understand that.
yeah.
I
And she's
understand
been
that.
doing it forever, so I don't understand why that would change. She's accepting applications, it's no different. So I'm just saying that.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay.
I'm just presenting information that was...
We thought it was gonna be more,
Let's seek clarity before we continue this conversation.
Okay.
Is that okay with everybody?
I mean, obviously, if we started, like, hired somebody to do programs and stuff,
They-
that adds another layer,
Yeah.
so, okay.
Okay,
Enough
so
said.
in that sense, I apologize. No excuse. I can come up with an excuse, but I'm not going to because I just didn't get it done. Have a draft of what our proposed spending plan would be for this year, so that going forward we know, like most departments in any municipal situation, here's what the money you're getting, here's how we intend to spend it.
Okay.
Okay, so I apologize for that. And then with the master plan, I don't know if Dave talked to the town administrator regarding the,
Buttress?
well, if we are going to use a consultant, where those monies are coming from, the access of the different monies, because there's different pots.
So if there's 10 to 15K left and we're looking for a master plan for Central Street and Kent Way, can't that come from there too?
Again,
Possibly.
that's a possibility. There are federal funds that need to be, that are accessible if we so choose, and application is accepted. The town administrator, is my understanding, has funds available for this kind of work for any department, again, on a first come, first served basis. We could also try to extract some of it from this, but it would be limited to the fields. My personal feeling, I'd rather use different funds from either the town administrator or the federal funds for it, and use these funds to make acquisition purposes durable consumer goods. Whether it's
Can you be more specific?
whether it's the bridge to the Triton Complex, because the other ones won't be able to pay, the administrative funds wouldn't be able to pay for that. The ARP funds could pay for it, but there's bigger projects that money might be better used for, than a $5,000 project here or $10,000 project here. Again, if we had a master plan, or if we didn't, we could say we would like to spend $5,000 on the beginning the walking trail that David mentioned, and if we put some low-cost, weather-resistant type of fitness, I don't know if people have done some of the fitness trails where simple thing is the logs that are in the ground and you step up on them, a chinning bar here, and in other places you do different stretches and different stuff. We could start putting them around, or just the one, whatever we want, which are, lower cost, and we could access that money.
So I agree with that. I'm a little, just voicing my opinion here. I still would like us to have a master plan before we start doing that, because I don't want to put something where something else might be better. So, but I'm a little concerned that it's now kind of been almost 6 months since Tracy came and told us about these funds, and we haven't been able to at least initiate the beginning of the master plan.
Agreed.
And I think we're all in agreement with that, so I don't, yeah.
How long are the funds available potentially?
The funds in our, that have been appropriated to us go through the year.
Right.
Administrators' funds go through the year, and the federal funds that we're eyeing have to be, project has to be identified and completed by, I think, 2023.
I think the bid process,
Yeah,
and then it has to be done by like 2025 or 26. That's further out.
yeah,
And just for clarity, year end is
July.
July.
July 3rd,
Well,
June 30th.
the new year starts July 1st, so
July
June 30th.
Okay, so June 30th.
So what I'm hearing is we need clarity on accessing the different funds and the recommendations from the town administrator of where those funds should come from and moving forward. Can I make a suggestion that we vote that we, where we, I don't know the exact language, basically, so when we go there, we can say, hey, can we have these funds? Can we do this? Here's what we voted on, rather than wait until December.
What do you want to vote on?
Sorry.
That's it?
I still don't know if we turned it off. To take the necessary steps to secure a consultant to help us develop a master plan, and the master plan for the town should include Kent Way.
Didn't we just vote on that last month?
The minutes didn't reflect that. So let's do this, then let's do that again.
Okay, I don't have my notes from last month. Do you have your notes from when we talked about?
Yeah, up to 7K.
For how much?
7K for the motion for a plan up to 7K. At 81 Central Street anyways. Kent Way, I'm not 100% sure it was in there or not, or if it was just 81 Central Street. But the playground and possible boat launch. Motion
For how much was it for
7K.
Okay. Can we just re-vote on it, and, because our minutes were accepted, unless we want to go back and unwind it, but let's re-vote. $7,000, I make a motion, we allocate $7,000 from our budget?
We didn't specify.
Okay, so then let's do this, $7,000 from an appropriate source, whether it's the administrators' access to funds, or our funds, or our funds, to initiate the master plan for 81 Central Street.
I don't even know if that includes, if that includes the federal funds either.
Yeah, I just said the ARP.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Appropriate source.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay.
And if I guess this month we don't connect with the process, we should find another resource, I guess.
But we had, yes.
Just a thought.
Yeah, but again, when I had a conversation with him a long time ago, and with the town administrator, is we need to allocate the monies before we, and as any consultant will say, I can't tell you how much things are going to cost because they don't know the scope of the services. So that's why it's important to have a conversation with the town administrator, say, here's what we're doing. She would have a better idea of the amount of monies that we can appropriate to secure those services. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I thought the master plan isn't, we're not appropriating any money towards any of the projects within the
No,
master plan.
no.
We're just appropriating money to make a master plan.
Correct.
But we have not been able to connect with the
The
consultant.
resource.
Because we haven't, my understanding is we can't really get into a conversation with him because he's not under contract, or she's not under contract. So we need to secure the services of a consultant to do this work. And that's what some monies are going to be for.
Okay. I understand that. I just feel like there hasn't been a conversation to say, can you secure the money? Like, that there's been no connection. Maybe there has.
I can't speak to it.
Okay, all right.
And is there anything, there's nothing new on the agenda? And therefore, the only thing that I'd like to add to the next agenda is there was concern that the back gate isn't being opened up regularly on Saturdays when there's 2 or games. And that's a concern. I know Dave has reached out to the chief of police to see if they could open it up on Saturday mornings and close it in the evening. And last time, and I know this has happened in the past too, somebody inevitably parks in front of the gate, so they can't open it to have access to the rear part.
Should we put a sign?
I think that's a conversation that we need to have at the next meeting. That
Add that to
signage, basically saying
please
it's
don't park in front of.
well, emergency vehicle access. Cars can be towed, and then the idea is maybe demarcated on the ground so people can clearly understand this is the perimeter that we can't be in.
I think you could put it on the gate.
The sign's on the gate,
Okay.
and then marking on the ground. Some way mark it so that, because when you open up the gate, because somebody can say, I'm parked over here, they can't open the gate all the way.
The gate, which way does it swing? In or out?
They should be swinging away from it. But if they park in front, they may be blocking one of the exits. I don't know.
Okay.
The idea is to find a way to ensure that we have access to the back lot, first and foremost for emergency vehicles, and then for additional parking.
How about we just have 2 more of those big stumps? Put in. You know, the ones that match?
Well, as long as we can find access down there, and again, I don't want to get the cart ahead of the horse, but it might be, as we think about this, it might be start continuing with the fencing that we started, start bringing it around so we don't have to continue to keep that locked. And if we do the back end of the field, it's going to prevent what we originally started from. Now, I think we could open it up because I don't think people are comfortable driving to record. The reason the fence has been put up, the little chain fence, is in the spring for as long as I've been here, 20 years, probably as long as you've been here. Every couple of springs, somebody goes onto the fields with their car and does donuts and ruins the fields. They caught the last person to do it, and they had to pay restitution, but it ruined the field for a chunk of time. So we started making it more difficult. If we keep the gate there, it prevents the back part. If we start putting the fence up, we can keep moving, build the fence and move the gate further down until some point where we can go back, in theory, go back to where we were, where people could drive all the way back down, where a canoe access point could be located. That kind of thinking. But in the meantime, we need to make sure people don't block that road. So can we have a conversation about that
Next time.
So that's your homework. Is there anything else we want to add to the agenda for next week, or next meeting, which would be in December.
So just going back to the Chris Huntress thing, so who does reach out to him?
I thought Dave was,
I thought he said he was going to too.
Yeah.
and he may have.
Right.
Yeah. And it may be a conversation where he has, and now we have to go back to the administrator, but
Okay.
any of the documents to secure services have to come through the town administrator's office.
Mhm.
We're not in that position to sign on behalf of the town.
Got it. Like, I wonder if he even knows that we're gonna come back for him or ask for him.
I will talk to David this week and possibly set up a meeting with the town administrator to push this to where we can get some satisfaction.
Good, great.
And if it needs filling out our request form, we can do that. With that being said, it is 6:26. I make a motion.
You want to schedule the next meeting?
Schedule the next, sorry.
You know, honestly, we're in good shape because we've done the field house, we've done the basketball court, we've done the MyRec, we've done the handbook, we've done the fees, and now a budget, and now we're kind of to the point where we can look forward instead of fixing
Backwards.
Yeah.
Thank you.
December 5th is the first Monday of December. Does anybody have any objections? 6 o'clock again?
6 o'clock.
Now, can I please adjourn the meeting? Thank you. I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:27.
Second?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Celine. All opposed? Anybody? Thank you.